Hello and welcome to Cindershadow Gaming. I'm your host Cindershadow, and today we're going to talk about how Blizzard and Overwatch has overstepped their bounds. So a few days ago I was alerted to this, and I know I'm kind of late on the uptick on here, but I don't see many people talking about this. And this is Overwatch is under investigation from the Justice Departments. So Overwatch leagues, they're with their pricing and the way they pay out, they're under full investigation. This is big trouble for Blizzard, and I'm not surprised when it comes down to it. The Overwatch League is in trouble with federal authorities. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, September 29th, a view of the San Francisco shock. According to a report by Kotaku, out of all places, this is why I have a different place. I do have the Kotaku article, which actually links to esports, which is a little bit more clarity than that, so I won't be going over much of the Kotaku one. The esports league is currently under investigation by the U.S. Justice Department for its so-called soft salary cap policy that punishes teams who overplay players. The investigation, which has been held by the Civic Conduct Task Force in trying to determine if an Overwatch League is violating the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890, this is over 100 years old, by having a soft salary cap policy because players aren't unionized. While the league itself is under investigation for something criminal, it has been reported that Activision Blizzard was already ordered not to tamper with potential evidence involving player salaries. This is a big thing. If you don't understand the big thing, with hockey, you have the National Players Association League. You've got the NFL that has their own. You have Major League Baseball that have their own. All the players are technically under arbitration and collective bargaining. And when you create this soft cap without that collective bargaining from the players having their say in the way the salary caps are, there's a certain level that needs to be done here, and there's arbitration, there's everything that needs to go down the line, and there has to be give and take with it. When it's only the entity of Blizzard dealing with the salaries of the players, and the players get no say in what happens, that's where things fall apart, and why these certain things are going to not wind up very good for them. According to their findings, some employees at Activision Blizzard, who runs Overwatch League, have already been questioned about the issue. Among the queries involving the lack of player unions, which is something that other professional sports leagues like the NBA already has. Esports financials at a glance, considering that esports is becoming more and more accepted, the Department of Justice probe into the finances of the Overwatch League makes a lot of sense. So, what is the esports saying? U.S. Department of Justice opens antitrust inquiry into Overwatch League's soft salary cap competitive balance tax. So, the first one there is talking how the players aren't really combined for arbitration with Blizzard, and they don't really get a say in it. This one is talking a little bit more with the taxes involved. The anti-division is probing the Overwatch League over its soft salary policy that discourages team from excess spending. Sources familiar with the inquiry told .esports. Now, .esports is where this article originated, FYI. So everything else comes back to this. This is the originated article. The probe is being held by the Department of Justice trial attorney Kathleen Simpson Kernan, who works for the Civil Conduct Task Force subdivision of the Antitrust Division in Washington. Current and other DOJ authorities have conducted and interviewed several former Overwatch League employees. According to sources, the nature of Kernan's investigation is not criminal, sources said. A spokesperson for the DOJ declined to comment on June 6. At the center of Kernan's inquiry of the lack of player unions, which would allow Overwatch League to apply for a non-statutory labor exemption. That status has been granted to NFL, NBA, and other pro sport leagues who have labor unions. The exemption originates from the 1965 U.S. Supreme Court case Amalgamated Meat Cover versus Jewel T. Co., which said union employee member agreements are outside the purview of the 1990 Sherman Act, the landmark piece of antitrust legislation. So what this is, because they're working outside of that, it opens up a whole big can of worms. They need some sort of way of communicating with the players in a fair and arbitrated way of making contracts. Without that, you kind of get all these things that just don't fall in line. Kernan's team has also contacted Activision Blizzard, the operator of the Overwatch League. As a result, Blizzard has communicated to team executives not to tamper with or destroy information regarding players' salaries, a routine measure taken in cases of government investigation. This means they're unturning every stone. They're looking at every paper. They're looking at how much they paid and how much they should have paid. There's going to be findings from this, and there will be follow from it. People are saying there isn't so much here. It's not really that big of a deal. But when you start opening up this, it's going to open up a can of worms. Because we know there's things within Blizzard that is just not right. We saw what happened with the Hearthstone player that did the whole Free Hong Kong thing. And he got suspended and punished for speaking out about that. And now we have this. This is just another piece of the puzzle against Blizzard, showing that what they're doing is not justified and how they have to smarten up their act and to be able to operate properly. We've received an inquiry from the DOJ and are cooperating accordingly, said Activision Esports. We deliver epic entertainment for our fans, yada, yada, yada. Trademark boiler statement here. In 2020, the soft salary cap threshold equaled 1.6 million, according to league sources. If a team exceeded the amount in annual player salaries, the organization would then have to pay players' salaries as well as excess amounts to the league as a luxury tax. So that's where the luxury tax comes into play. This means every dollar above 1.6 million limit would cost a team twice as much, impeding organizations from offering massive competitive salaries. That luxury tax would then be distributed among the non-offending teams, where the few teams, so they take the tax and they distribute it to the other teams for the same amount. That's kind of interesting the way it is. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to esports, are they the same thing as hockey? You're not putting your physical body on the line other than your digits. And I don't see that as where a player is playing hockey. They have things. Really, an esports sports player can probably insure their hands of damage and well-being and stuff like that to make sure that they can continue to make a salary. But ultimately, there's a little bit here that has to be the give and take, and that's where the players' associations with these teams, these major league teams, have the player unions. And those player unions do a lot of things. They ensure that salaries are kept there. They make sure that everything goes across the board the same way. The unions with the players' associations are not the same as like your everyday stuff with tradespeople or nurses or anything like that. It's a lot different of a sense. I wouldn't even equate it to the same thing. It's more of just a overseeing body that makes sure everything stays at a level playing field and makes sure there is give and take the proper way, and that arbitration is done properly and there isn't favorites given to certain players over other players. It kind of comes down to that. It's a very technical sense that you got to look at from outside the box. There, I speak out against a few things that we've seen with the NHL and how the player salary caps just aren't doing what they're supposed to there, but that's a whole other story. The specific details of the cap has never been disclosed to the public by league officials. In an August 2019 THRU report included a memo that mentions a competitive balance tax and cited two now deleted tweets from September 2018 by the London Spitfire general manager Susie Kim that confirmed the tax. So this is something they had on the books but never really disclosed it. So this is where I'm talking about. This is going to uncover a few things and stuff like that. So you know what? I'm going to leave that there. If you guys want to know more about this, I will link this .esports in a pinned comment down below. You guys can take a read into that. This is something that is going on with Blizzard, Activision, and Overwatch. We're going to see this become more and more and more when it comes down to how companies pay their players. Like this equates to everything else that's being labeled as an esport. So this is only the start of this type of thing, and this goes to show you that if players are going to professionally play these games, they need to come together, and they're going to need to be, there's going to be needing arbitration. There's going to be people that are going to have to mediate the way these players do business. And recently we did see with Magic the Gathering and Arena how the prize pools have been changed and all this other stuff. This could come up to that, and one of the main reasons why maybe the Pro League is being shut down on Wizards of the Coast side, because they cannot go through arbitration, they cannot go through these Department of Justice defense investigations where it just costs so much more money. Anyway, guys, this is your proud Canadian Phoenix signing off. If you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to help out the channel, there are links below. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great day.